Let's further discuss this now with Alberto Loarte, who is the head of the ITER Science Division, which is an international nuclear fusion research organization. Alberto, it's a pleasure speaking to you today. Now, nuclear fusion has been described as the holy grail of energy production. How significant is this breakthrough?
Well, this is quite important because apart from that they have obtained more energy than you need to heat up this gas to very high temperatures and density, the important thing is that the plasma, which is this very hot gas, self-heats by the nuclear reactions. And this is something which is what they call ignition, and this is something which is the key goal for efficient fusion power production. And so the opportunity to understand how this gas reacts when it heats itself by fusion is something that actually we have been looking forward for many years and is the base of the fusion energy production. So it is a rather significant step in this. On the total amount of energy and the energy that you can actually, electricity you can produce from it, of course, is a smaller step because it's the first one.
So I'm assuming now scientists would want to scale up the production through this process. What needs to be done to make nuclear fusion power plants a reality?
Well, the first thing, of course, we have to increase the amount of energy we produce, and this requires to actually produce more than what they have been obtaining in these experiments. You need to get the gas hotter and denser, so that your net gain is larger. Because what we have obtained now is that the amount of energy that we put in the fuel is lower than what we produce. But this doesn't mean that when you look at the electricity balance, the amount of electricity that you use to heat up this fuel and the energy you produce from the fuel back to the electricity network is larger. This is not the case. This is not yet the case. And of course, when you want to build a reactor, you have to have a net production of electricity. At the moment, we have net production of energy in the terms of heating and release. And that is a big difference because there are several factors. I mean, you have to go
Right.
much higher than that. And also you have to increase the frequency in the technique used in NIFS. They do this experiment once a day, and you have to do this several times a second.
Right. So with everything good comes risks as well, Alberto, as you would know yourself. What are some of the risks that come with creating energy through nuclear fusion, and how is it different to the nuclear power that we currently have?
Okay, the risk of nuclear fusion are much lower than nuclear fission. The first thing is that we don't produce long-term radioactive waste, because what we produce is helium, is a gas, is a non-radioactive gas. And the other thing is that this is not a chain reaction. So in a nuclear fission reactor, you produce neutrons, and these neutrons trigger another reaction. And then, of course, if you don't control, the reactor can melt. And this, in the process of fusion by itself, the neutrons that you produce play no role. They are only used to produce electricity. They don't produce a role in increasing the reactivity of the gas, and therefore you don't have the risk of this kind of runaway kind of a chain reaction that actually can melt the reactor. So the risks are much lower. Of course, we still have the reactor itself, which is made of steel, becomes radioactive, and this is something which is common to nuclear fission, but this is not really the main problem of nuclear fission. We see that nuclear power plants are being dismantled, and the problem is really the long-term radioactive waste, and this we don't produce.
All right, Alberto Loarte, thank you so much for being with us here on the News
Thank
Hour.
you.